Yep. And then I'm just add that Manscaped thing. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, and...
A warm welcome to Disky Talk with Luyolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I discuss all things Dstv Premiership action as I have a tactical pre-match analysis of Orlando Pirates versus Supersport United. So coming up into this encounter then, Orlando Pirates will be represented by the red team and then Supersport United will be represented by the blue team. So when you have a look then at Orlando Pirates, this is a team then that have been very inconsistent this season across the platform because within the CAF Confederations Cup, they've been doing well, they're scoring the goals and they're picking up the victories. However, when it comes to the league, they'd win and then they'll lose and then they'll draw quite a bit. So Orlando Pirates then have been quite inconsistent. However, coming up into this Dstv Premiership encounter, they will be looking to pick up all 3 points as they do look to finish off positively within the Dstv Premiership and try then ensure that they finish in that CAF Champions League position. However, when you have a look at Orlando Pirates then, they do line up in a hybrid system. So it is a 3-4-2-1. In possession of the ball. Out of possession, it does then transition to a 4-4-2/4-5-1, depending then on where the ball is and in relation then to how the opposition are moving. So coming up into this encounter then, Richard Ofori has returned, so I do foresee him starting in goals. And then a back three then of Olisanda as the right-sided centre-back. With Olisanda then, I've been very impressed with his performances as I feel that he's been one of the standout players for this Orlando Pirates side. Also been one of the most consistent, if not the most consistent Orlando Pirates player this season. And when you have a look at Olisanda then, this is a centre-back who's very comfortable on the ball. So he does facilitate and enable this Orlando Pirates side to build out smoothly from the back. And he's also then got a great range of passing. So with him, then he can also play then those long diagonal balls and he can also play then those creative passes in behind where then he's looking for his forward line players. And he's also proven then to be very solid for this Orlando Pirates side and he reads the game very, very well. And then when you do have a look at it then, in the middle of the 3, I do foresee Jele starting there. And then on the left side, you will have Paseka Marco. So I do foresee that being the back 3 for Orlando Pirates. And then when you move on into the heart of midfield. So within the heart of midfield then, we have seen that Musele and Munare have been playing consistently within the heart of midfield. And they are looking now that they are going to become then the solid base within the heart of midfield, and they are going to become the starting pair within the heart of midfield for this Orlando Pirates side. However, a player I'd like to touch on then is Musele. Goodman Musele, this is a player who is really improving and growing within that role of a number 8 for this Orlando Pirates side, as he is a player then who is starting to advance further up the pitch with regards then to the pockets of space that he'd occupy. We are seeing him further up the half space. We are seeing him then also then make those box entries. He's also then able to progress the ball very well. And he's also then be able to play those penetrative passes, and he also then is then starting to showcase a bit of his creativity, which then can only bode well for this Orlando Pirates side. So Goodman, Musele and Munare to start in the midfield. However, of course, you do have a Makaringe as well, who could also start in there. And yeah, so when you move on then right along, as the left wing back, I do see Dion Hotto starting as the left wing back. Whenever then it does transition to a 4-4-2, he does then go as the left wing. So with Dion Hotto, he's been very key for this Orlando Pirates side this season because he has contributed with a lot of goals and a lot of assists as well. So with Dion Hotto, he is then very important with regards to offering the width within the left wide channel. However, he does look to drift in at times and also then look to make those box entries where then he does look to offer that final third penetration for this Orlando Pirates side, where then he is looking then to finish off those chances or create those chances for this Orlando Pirates side. So Dion Hotto then as the left wing back to offer the width on the left hand side, and then as the right wing back, Bundy Leshandu. So just like Hoto, this is a player then who's been very, very key for this Orlando Pirates side, and he's been very impressive this season, especially then within the right wide channel, as he does play as a right wing back. However, when they do transition to a defensive scheme, you will see him then looking to tuck in and ensure that Orlando Pirates do have a back four. Whenever they do attack, then he is high and wide. At times, then you will see him also drift into the box, where then he's looking then to add numbers for this Orlando Pirates side, and also then look to finish off those chances, as he has also scored goals for this Orlando Pirates side. So with this Orlando Pirates side, then most of their goal contributions have come from Dion Hoto and Bundy Leshandu. So they've been very key for this Orlando Pirates side with regards then to offering them the width within the left wide channel and the right wide channel respectively, and creating chances and scoring those goals as well. And then when you do have a look then at their two number 10s, I do foresee Dlamini starting, and you could then have Thembinkosi Lodge. If not Thembinkosi Lodge, you could have Makaringe. If not Makaringe, there is also Collins Makhaga, but I do see Makaringe starting in this game. And then up front, you do have Peprah. So when you do have a look at this Orlando Pirates side, then that is how they look to go about business, and they will then be looking then to ensure that they create a lot of chances, and also look then to finish off those chances against the Supersport United side. With the Orlando Pirates side, then they do have a couple of players then who can always come off the bench and look to make an impact. So you do then have a Lipasa off the bench who can come off the bench and score those goals for them. You do then have a Makubela who can come off the bench. You also then have a Radiopane who can come off the bench as well. So this Orlando Pirates side do have a couple of options, and then it will depend then on Lodge's fitness. If he is fully fit, he could possibly start. If not, then he could always come off the bench and look then to make an impact for this Orlando Pirates side. So they do have a couple of options then that can come off the bench and look then to hurt the Supersport United side. So it's going to be very key then that this Orlando Pirates side ensure that they finish off those chances. At times, they haven't been clinical, and within this game, I do see them keeping the lion's share of possession, as they do look then to work the ball then from build-up phase into consolidation phase, and look then to break into the final third and finish off those chances. So that is what I foresee Orlando Pirates approaching this game, as they do then enjoy the hybrid system, a 3-4-2-1 in possession, a 4-4-2 out of possession. That is their defensive scheme. And then when we move along then to Supersport United, so when you do have a look at this Supersport United side, they are under the guidance of Keitano Tembu. So they do then line up in a 4-4-2, which then at times would sort of transition to a 4-2-3-1 in a sense, whenever then, because Lungu has been playing as the second striker, so sometimes you will see him dropping a bit deep into sort of that pocket of space, so then it would make it a 4-2-3-1 in a sense. However, the standard formation then is a 4-4-2. So with the Supersport United side then, they are a side then that look to penetrate through the wide channels, especially considering then that they do possess a lot of quality then within the wide channel. So on the right hand side and on the left hand side, they are very direct and they are very penetrative. They're not a side then that is going to keep ball possession for long spells. However, they are looking then to play very direct and very quick football. So at times then they will be reliant on offensive transitions, which then will lead to counter attacks against this Orlando Pirates side, especially considering then that Orlando Pirates will then keep the lion's share of possession, and they've got a lot of speed up front and in the wide areas as well. However, let's have a look at the personnel. So coming up into this encounter then, Ronan Williams to start in goal. So he is then their captain, he is their leader, very experienced, also then a very key player then for Bafana Bafana. And then when you have a look at the back four, at right back, I do see them starting with Keenan Phillips. When you have a look at Keenan Phillips, then this is a very, very good young right back, and a player then who's growing in leaps and bounds, and a fullback then who I think can become a complete fullback, because then from a defensive perspective, he has shown to be quite solid in those 1v1 defensive situations, and whenever then he does look to go forward and offer this Supersport United side the width, and whenever then he does break into the final third, he has also then been able to play quality final balls into the box, where then he is looking then for those crosses. So this is a player then that has the threat from the wide channels with regards to his crosses and can provide an assist for this Supersport United side. And then when you do have a look at their two centre-backs. So when you do have a look at the right side at centre-back, you do have Keenan Johannes. This is then a young centre-back who plays as a right-sided centre-back. He's been very solid, and he is then proving to become a very key component then of Supersport United's defense, especially considering then that he does play alongside Ditlokwe, and also then when you consider that he has shown threat when it comes to set pieces within the opposition box, so he can also pop up with a goal. And then as a left-sided centre-back, you do have Ditlokwe, who is left-footed. So then what I do like then about this centre-back pairing, it does then give you that natural ability when it comes to the build-up phase, because then with Johannes, he is right-footed. So whenever he does open up, he is opening up to receive on his right foot. With Ditlokwe, he is opening up then to receive on his left foot. So Supersport United, at times, not a lot of the times, at times, when the opportunity does afford itself, they will look to build up from the back. However, they are a lot more direct and a lot more penetrative with regards to how they look to play. So that is then the centre-back pairing for this Supersport United side, as I do foresee them growing as a pair. And then at left back, you do have Sifiso Ngubeni, who does start at left back, who then is on loan from Mamelodi Sundowns. So when you do have a look at him, this is a left back with a lot of potential and is a very talented left back, as he does look to offer the width for this Supersport United side. So a lot of the times then, because his left winger is Obringoma does look then to occupy that half space a lot of the time. So that then does give Ngobeni that space then to overlap on the left-hand side, where then he is looking then to ensure that he's able then to deliver those balls into the box. So they do then enjoy quite a very good relationship, as they are now establishing a very solid relationship down the left-hand side between the pair of them. So you've got Ngobeni, who will then start on the left-hand side of defense as the left back. And then when you have a look then at the two in midfield, you do then have Jesse Don, and then you do have Weber. However, when you have a look at it then, with Jesse Don, this is a player then who's growing in leaps and bounds for the Supersport United side within the heart of midfield. He is growing with regards to then understanding and reading play, and also then being able then to understand his position, as he is then the defensive midfielder for the Supersport United side. He does then look to protect the back four. He's also then very comfortable on the ball. So at times then he does allow Supersport that ability then to progress the ball through the central channels. However, he is a very simple player. He does look for the more creative players, and he does then look to keep that solidity within the heart of midfield. Then you've got Jamie Weber. So this is a player then who is become very important for this Supersport United side. He does then look to offer a bit of that creativity from the heart of midfield, and at times then it becomes very important with regards to how he looks to offer that positional superiority. Sometimes then, whenever he does advance, he will look to get that ball in between the lines, where he's looking to affect play for this Supersport United side. However, I did mention that the creativity and the penetration for this Supersport United side does come from the wing. So on the left-hand side, you do have Obringoma. He does tend to drift in, as he's a very creative player, and he's also got a great technical skill set with regards to his educated left foot. So from set pieces, he does deliver quality crosses, and from standard play, he is able to pick passes and also then ensure that he does drift into the final third and drift into the box, where then he's looking then to get shots on goal, because this is a player then who's got an eye for goal, and over the years has scored quite some lovely goals as well. And then when you have a look at the right-hand side, you do have Reynolds. So with Reynolds then, this is a forward line player, so he can play then on the right hand side, and he can also play as a striker. But as of late, he has been playing as the right winger for this Supersport United side. So with Reynolds then, he is very, very quick, and he is a player then that does look to go one-on-one with his man, beat his man, and look to deliver that ball into the box. And what's key to note then, because the Orlando Pirates do play with a back three, what often happens a lot of the times with the back three is then that there's always space vacated. So the pocket of space which is vacated with the back three is between the wing back and the left-sided centre back. So a lot of the times, Reynolds could look then to exploit this pocket of space, where then he can look to make an impact. And if then he's able then to ensure that he's able then to beat his man, which would be Marco, because I don't foresee Hotto being able to always track back, because whenever then it does transition to a 4-4-2 defensive scheme, Hotto does then become the left winger. So a lot of the times it will be Reynolds versus Marco, which then is a key battle to watch out for, because Marco defensively in 1v1 defensive situations is very solid, and then Reynolds is very, very quick. He does look to beat his man, deliver that ball. However, he does also look to drift in, as he does have an eye for goal as well. And then when you do have a look at the front two, you do have Tamsang Gabuza, and then you do have Kampani Lungu as well. So those are the two then that do start up front, with Gabuza very good then when it comes to hold up play and ensuring that he's able to bring those creative players around him into the game. And he's also then scored quite a couple of goals for this Supersport United side. With Lungu then, he is a very quick player, and a player then who's also got an eye for goal. And when you do have a look at this Supersport United front line then, so what I like about them then with regards to Obringoma, Lungu and Reynolds, they do apply a lot of pressure with Gabuza as well, as they do have the energy up front to apply the pressure. And then on the other side of the coin, whenever then they are deep in their own half, because then of the speed that they possess with Reynolds, Lungu and Obringoma, they can look then to have those offensive transitions and look then to hit Orlando Pirates side on the counter attack. So the Supersport United side then, it would favor them then to stay compact and be able then to ensure that they manage the spaces when it comes then to their low, their mid and their high blocks, with regards then to the lateral and vertical spaces, where then they look to deny Orlando Pirates those pockets of spaces where they're looking to play in between them. They look to stay compact, and then when they do win the ball, they look to offensive transition and hit this Orlando Pirates side on the counter attack, especially considering then that they do have the speed up front. And then off the bench then, for the Supersport United side, you do have a couple of exciting players. So Sipho Mbule is back within full training. So we did see that he did make the bench in the past couple of games. That is always a very, very exciting player who can unlock any team, especially then when it comes to those tight pockets of space in between the lines. He can offer that positional superiority for this Supersport United side. He can change the game. He's got an eye for goal, very creative. He provides assist as well. And then you do also then have Rasabocha, a young player then who's also been doing very well for the Supersport United side. Also then, he could also then look to start, because in the last game within the Nedbank Cup against Platinum City Rovers, he did actually score within the first minute. So those are a couple of players then that can come off the bench if they don't start for Supersport United side, and look then to make an impact for this Supersport United side. However, how I foresee this game ending then, I do foresee a draw in this game. I do foresee this game ending 1-1. Ladies and gentlemen, do let me know, what do you make of this episode with regards then to Orlando Pirates versus Supersport United? So this episode was proudly brought to you by Manscaped. So it's time to take care of yourself. So go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code Diski Talk. Thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Diski Talk with Luyolo. Signing out.
Oh, yeah.